welcome back to Mancinima. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope, like me, you're looking forward to Halloween, which is tomorrow, as of this recording of this video. So I've done a little bit of decoration over here, a little bit of pumpkin over there, little skull, and of course Ghostface is always here, and representing Michael Myers as always. The movie that I've got for you today is called Five Nights at Freddy's, and it has got kind of a spooky atmosphere to it, I guess you could say. Got to be honest with you, I didn't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's. The only thing I knew about it is I go to a comic store on the regular, and I started to see these little toys and things appearing on the shelves in there, like Five Nights at Freddy's toys, and look like robot bears or bears with kind of horror affects to them and things like that, and that began to grow and grow. The more I went in there, the more there was this Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, and I thought, what is this? I've never heard of it, didn't even know what it was. Apparently it's a video game. Now again, I know nothing about this, nothing at all. I don't know what platform it's on, I don't know how you play it, whether it's a phone game, whether you can get it on the PlayStation, whether it's a PC game. Absolutely no idea. I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's. The only thing I know is that there's been a little bit of hype on it on YouTube and obviously in the trade press and things like that, saying that this movie's coming. Apparently, from what I understand, it's been 7 years in the making since the initial concept, since they said they were going to make a movie of it. It's taken 7 years apparently. One of the rumours that I heard is that one of the original scripts was owned by Warner Brothers and it was going to be produced, but apparently the people who make Five Nights at Freddy's didn't agree with what Warner Brothers wanted to do, and they let that script drop, and then Warner Brothers went ahead and took their script and they turned it into the Banana Splits movie. So, and from what I've seen from the trailer of the time of Five Nights at Freddy's and the Banana Splits movie, they do seem very similar. If you've seen the Banana Splits movie, you'll know what I mean. In that they've taken the classic Banana Splits characters and they've become these kind of killer animatronics, and that's a similar thing that's going on with Five Nights at Freddy's. So that's basically the only thing that I knew about it. So let's get a little deeper into the plot. Well, we're introduced to the character of Mike, and he's played by Josh Hutcherson, who you guys may remember from the Hunger Games series. And he's got this younger sister, played by Piper Rubio, and her name is Abby. Now, Mike and Abby live in a house, but they're not exactly getting along. There's a bit of fractured tension between the pair of them. You know, she's kind of like, you're not the boss of me situation, and he's just struggling to kind of keep her calm and keep her entertained and keep her fed. He is working in a shopping mall, and at the beginning of the movie we see him, he's out to get his lunch. He goes up to this little bar to get his lunch, and he interacts with this female character who he clearly knows, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees this older man, and it looks like this older man is grabbing this young child and is attempting to kidnap him or be violent towards him. And of course this triggers something in Mike. So Mike goes chasing him through the mall, grabs the man, throws him into the fountain in the mall, and violently beats him up. This will come back to a plot point in a moment, which we'll get to in a moment. And of course Mike loses his job. Now he has to go and see his careers advisor, I think it's his careers advisor, and he's played by Matt Lillard, and the character's name is Steve Raglan. And he says, well look, you've got this history of losing your job through your temper. He says, you've lost this job here, this job here, this job here, and he lists off all these jobs that he's lost. And he says, well, you must have something for me. I need the money. I need to kind of pay my bills. I need to take care of the young girl, and I need to pay for my house. And so Steve goes through this list, and he goes, well, kind of there is this one job, and it's a security guard, but you'll be working in this closed down pizzeria. It's like a children's pizzeria, like a themed pizzeria. If you've ever been to Disneyland, they've got something like Pizza Planet or something like that themed around Toy Story, with animatronic characters and things like that. So it's something like that. But it means working nights, and Mike can't work nights because he has to take care of Abby. So he says, well, no, look, I can't do that. And Steve says to him, well, look, here's my card in case you have a change of heart. And he goes, well, I won't. And he walks away, and he obviously looks for other jobs, tries for other jobs, and can't get them. Enter Mary Stuart Masterson, and she's playing Aunt Jane. Now she wants the young girl for herself for whatever reason. It's not really clearly explained. But she wants the young girl for herself, and she says to Mike, I'm serving you these papers so that I can take Abby away. Of course, Mike doesn't want that. He wants to be with his sister because she's the only family he's got left. Mike has these nightmare dreams where he envisions his younger brother being kidnapped by somebody, but he can't see who it is. And he keeps taking these pills and things like that in order to send him back into a sleep state so he can try to make that final connection to see who it was that kidnapped his younger brother. And yeah, so there's that situation. Of course, the pressure from the aunt coming in, the pressure from the bills coming in, it looks like things are going to go bad. So Mike's got no choice, but he's got to accept the job at the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria as a nighttime security guard. And that's what he does. So he takes the job and enters this, like I said, closed down pizzeria. You've got all the animatronic characters up on the stage, and they're all a little bit creepy, you know, every now and again one of them will move. And he's watching this instructional video of how to be a security guard at the pizzeria. And so yeah, you know, we get a few nights like that where the first night where kind of nothing really happens, and then the second night you get things begin to happen. And then we get another character shows up, and she's a policewoman. And the aunt finds out that Mike is working for this pizzeria, and of course her aim is to get the child away from him, so she sends a bunch of thugs in to smash the pizzeria, make him look like he's done a bad job as a security guard, so that he'd lose his job again and that she'd finally get her hands on Abby. However, once these thugs come into the pizzeria, that's when the animatronics come to life, and they basically butcher all of these thugs that this aunt has sent in. So that's when the movie kind of picks up a little bit. However, I will say, you know, that is basically the plot. Is you know, this Mike character goes to work in this pizzeria, and he's just trying to get money to save his younger sister and kind of mend the relationship between them as well, and try to figure out also who kidnapped his brother. Yeah, that's the basic plot of it. I will say that the movie kind of plods along, really. It doesn't seem like there's enough plot or enough story to fill the running time of the movie. I felt that probably they could have done all this in an hour. I think the movie's about, I think it's about 90 minutes. I'll put the time up on the screen if I can figure out what the actual time of it was. I think it's about 90 minutes, but I felt that everything could have been done in an hour. There's moments where you definitely feel like the movie's being padded, and you know, scenes are put in just to keep it going, but it's not. There's not enough plot to keep you kind of on the edge of your seat, which is what you kind of want to be in a movie like this. Everybody kind of gives okay performances. I think the characters are quite weak, to be honest with you. They're not padded out enough. I think there could have been more background given. I know we've got Mike with his younger brother that was kidnapped, and so he's got that history. But I felt it could have been built on a little bit better. I think there could have been more depth to Mike, more depth to the aunt, what her motives are, why she really wants to get the younger sister, more depth to some of the other characters as well that are introduced. It does seem to just kind of plod along, and you know, and it gets to its end point, and kind of that's it. As this movie is, I think it's you know, I might be wrong, but I think this movie is a 15 certificate. But as a 15 certificate, it doesn't really reach kind of the levels of kind of shock and horror that you kind of have seen from other 15 certificate horror movies. You know, they go to do a murder. There's a scene at the beginning which I thought was going to be like Saw. There's a security guard strapped in this kind of bed thing, and you see this kind of whirring blade coming towards his face, and it's getting closer and closer to his face. I thought, oh my god, are they actually going to go there? And no, they don't. They kind of cut away, cut to black, and they cut to a corridor or something like, or cut to another part of the room. You hear all the screams, and then it kind of immediately jumps to the next part of the story. So anytime they've got to kind of give you that horror moment, they kind of jump away. They could have supplemented this by building the suspense instead, you know, building moments. Like I say, the film is kind of long and it's not long, but it's just padded out. It seems to drag on in moments when it could have, you know, sped up a little bit. But like I say, I think they would have run out of story had they gone for a proper pacing in this, and you would have ended up with an hour-long film instead of, I think, like I say, I think it's about 90 minutes. So yeah, there's moments where you kind of wish that more was done, more character development was done, and there was more plot to investigate. But as it was, it just kind of plodded along. It got to its end point, which was kind of obvious, and that was that. As I say, I understand that fans of Five Nights at Freddy's have been coming out of this movie absolutely loving it. I guess they've got that, you know, backgrounding from the game, things they recognise, moments they recognise, plots that are going to probably build off into further elements if they do further sequels with this thing. And they're seeing the seeds being planted, whereas I'm completely unfamiliar with this franchise or with this gaming situation, and I don't know what I'm looking for. So to me, on the surface, as a surface fan, if you don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, this might seem like a kind of a dull, weak horror movie in a way. That's not to say it's a terrible movie. It's not a terrible movie. It's just not at its full potential. I think it could have been a lot better. I think you probably could have put more into it. Like I say, more characterization, more moments of suspense and things like that. Obviously, you know, if you're cutting gore out of a movie, then supplement that with suspense instead. Put some more tension building moments in and things like that instead. But it doesn't seem to have that. It just kind of just seems to plod along. Not, like I say, I don't want to say that I didn't enjoy it. I did kind of enjoy it. I just kind of sat there and let it wash over me, and I thought, yeah, that was okay. That was not bad. Like I said, it's not one of the most terrible films. I'm not going to go out and slate it, say it's a terrible movie. I just kind of enjoyed it, but it's something that I'm probably going to forget in a couple of days' time until I catch it on Sky or something like that. I would hope, and there is rumours that they're going to be doing a couple more at least of these Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a Blumhouse production, so they're going to want to get more movies out. I would hope that they do build on the characterization for the next movie, maybe pack the plot a little bit better, you know, put more in it, build more suspense into the plot, build the characters up a little bit more, add some more moments of tension and stuff like that, and give us a much better sequel. It can be done, you know, we had it with both Annabelle Creation was better than Annabelle, and the Ouija sequel was better than the original Ouija film. So it can be done in a sequel. You can build upon what's gone before and say, right, we realise the mistakes we've made, let's build upon this and let's make a better movie. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. Would I recommend you go and see it at the cinema? To be honest with you, you can give it a miss. It's not a big deal. Wait for it to be on Sky or one of those channels, and you know, see what you think from there on out. You're not going to get your money's worth by watching Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I said, I don't want to slate the film because I did kind of enjoy it. I did kind of sit there, enjoy it, and think, well, you know, that's that, and I can walk out. But I didn't carry any "that was great" moments out with me, or you know, I really enjoyed that kind of moments. So yeah, it's just an average film. It's a time passer. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Anyway, that's my review of Five Nights at Freddy's. Maybe if I find out a bit more about the game and stuff like that, I'll be a bit more educated, and maybe I'll see more in it when I see it again, but who knows. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that review. As usual, please give this video the thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Don't be one of those thumb bandits, you know, one of those weird little people who goes around clicking on it like this because they think they're clever when they're not. Please click on it that way up. I greatly appreciate it. To everybody who's new to the channel, I've got some new stuff coming up, and I've got a couple of surprises coming up as well, so keep your eye on this channel. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe. Click on the thumbs up button and subscribe, and it doesn't cost you a penny. As long as you've got a YouTube account, again, which doesn't cost you anything, you can do that. You can click on those two things, and it just helps this channel. It encourages me to want to do more of these. Like I said, I've got some interesting things coming up, so the more kind of subscribers that I can get and the more likes I can get on these videos, it encourages me to kind of want to do more for you guys. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Like I say, let me know if you go and see Five Nights at Freddy's, what you think in the comments. Let me know if you're a fan of the game, and maybe you can tell me some of the things that I've missed out, some of the things that are exciting to you that maybe didn't register with me. And also click the notification bell, and that'll let you know, I should say, when I've done another one of these videos. But until then, have a fantastic Halloween. I think I've got another Halloween video coming out in time for Halloween, but we'll see how that goes. It's all to do with the uploading and things like that, depending on whether that goes well. But if not, I will put it on down the line, so you might see it after Halloween. But in the meantime, thank you once again for watching, and take care, have a great Halloween. I'll see you all soon.